If you haven't heard about the Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. The Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. Once again, you know, I'm going to bring you another bonus episode on this day, December 6th. And, this is podcast God at Part Wrestling by yours truly, Jamel Holness. I'm going to bring you a special bonus episode of another Takeover Wargames event I just watched, the one from 2018. Just finished watching this now, and compared to this one, it kind of lacked a little bit of the previous year, 2017, but it was okay to say the least as far as the War Games match itself goes. A little different, this year than last year, because last year, we had the triple threat tag team War Games matchup with three teams of three. This year, 2018, we had two teams of four, which wasn't too bad. We saw a couple matches on the, Dark Show, I guess, but, you know, yeah, it was taped, but these matches were taped to follow the following like future NXT TB tapings. So first of all, we had a match with Keith Lee defeating Fidel Bravo. Don't know the not available time was for this matchup, but it was okay to say the least. When I started on what I did see it on NXT episode, and we also saw Lars Sullivan defeat Keita Murray, which lasted a minute and 30 seconds. Not too bad as well. And we saw Nikki Cross defeating Candice LeRae in 12 minutes and 30 seconds. So, not too bad as far as matches that would go on the regular, NXT taping TVs on Wednesday night. So, not too bad. Of course, this event will take place on the weekend of Survivor Series on November 17th, 2018, from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, with the intense record of 13,598 fans. So, NXT's going Hollywood, basically. They got their first takeover event from LA, Hollywood. It's pretty surreal. So, this is their chance in one of the biggest cities to really deliver on a absolute great takeover War Games event. So, see here. This wasn't even scheduled to be a match, but we had Matt Riddle coming out here, which was supposedly supposed to happen at the following NXT TV tapings on the upcoming Wednesday night against Cassius Ohno. But he said rather than wait till Wednesday, he wanted to get it over right now by knocking him out in the ring in less than 1 second. So we had Cassius Ohno coming to the ring here. Cassius Ohno proving that he's the true knockout artist that will knock out Matt Riddle himself. But as soon as the match starts, he charges in. Matt Riddle hits the high knee, goes for the 1, 2, 3. Matt Riddle defeats Cassius Ohno in 6 seconds. That is the quickest match in TakeOver history, pretty much. So Matt Riddle making his TakeOver debut and defeating a veteran in NXT like Cassius Ohno, that's pretty huge there. So kudos to Matt Riddle making his mark on his very first TakeOver match and probably his debut, I'm assuming, at the time. So Matt Riddle was definitely very quick to make his name in NXT. Next up, we will have a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Women's Championship between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. Mind you, these two knockout drag-out matches that these two fought before at NXT Takeover 4 back in Brooklyn 4 back in August, where we saw Kairi Sane defeat Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship, and the match that had at WWE Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view event on October the 27th, where we saw Shayna Baszler defeat Kairi Sane, Dixie of Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir to regain the NXT Women's Championship. So the rematch clause, the rubber match, will be decided 2 out of 3 falls here. I really don't like this match only because that it was probably one of the fastest 2 out of 3 falls matches I've ever seen. So two women of this skill that by far know each other by now should have been more longer lengthwise. So I didn't like this match too much here. And the score was Shayna Baszler 1 and Shayna Baszler 2 and Kairi 1. Of course, Shayna Baszler won in 10 minutes and 55 seconds. I don't know. I think this is probably one of the worst NXT Women's Championship matches I've seen. Just because Okay, when you have a 2 out of 3 falls match, you can do so much. A match can go literally either way. And out of nowhere, there have been times where Superstar has won 2 straight falls in a 2 out of 3 falls match. 2 out of 3 fall match supposed to be long, hard, and brutal. It should go at least coast to coast here. But for this type of match, I really didn't enjoy it as much. I thought it was too fast. And again, the interference from Jess Duke and Marina Shafir, on Shayna Baszler's side, even the interference by Io Shirai, who would have been a relative newcomer to NXT, helping out Kairi Sane here, which is cool, kind of evening it out a little bit. But I still think this match lackluster a lot. I would rate this match 2 out of 5 stars just because it wasn't really one of the best matches and not one of the best 2 out of 3 falls match as well. So I'm kind of giving it a thumbs down to this match. It was poorly, out there, and I didn't like it at all. I really didn't. So yeah, I think this is one of the final times these two will battle 1-on-1 too. So yeah. Moving on. Next up, we got Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano, in which this match on paper has star power written all over it. Mind you, the mystery that happened that summer, NXT, way back in the summer of 2018, was rivalry between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, in which Johnny Gargano thought that Aleister Black was quote unquote in his way. Even though Aleister Black was the NXT World Champion. We saw in an episode of NXT back in July where Tommaso Ciampa defeated Aleister Black to become the new champion. They see new friends accidentally on Johnny Gargano's part. Which Johnny Gargano thinking that, you know, his title shot against Ciampa at Takeover Brooklyn 4, which evidently thinks Aleister Black cost him the championship. Even though that's technically not true, he will learn that whoever was attacking Aleister Black throughout the summer was shouted out by Nikki Cross, revealing to the then general manager Wade Ringo that it was John Gargano this whole time attacking Aleister Black throughout the summer. Aleister Black wanted a match against John Gargano here at Takeover Wargames, and he got his wish. Those moves are making an entrance here. I think this is like one of the first times ever heard Johnny Gargano get booed. So to say the least, this is pretty different. This was like seeing a heel Johnny Gargano, and I don't know. I couldn't really picture Johnny Gargano as a heel. Even though I would have loved him to be, I want him to try it out. But I don't know, I just couldn't help but love it a little bit. You know, not love it, but also hate it at the same time, just because he wasn't getting the heel reaction as of your typical heel wrestler would get. Of course, you know, Outback always comes out to a standing ovation, let alone his entrance. You know, we saw lots of moves here. We saw that high knee where Alpha Black takes that to the outside, or no, or Johnny Gargano takes that to the outside, and Alpha Black comes out of nowhere with that knee. Oh man! And we saw like a lot of high knees from Alpha Black to Gargano in the ring. We saw the Gargano escape twice. And we even saw that devastating, hard hitting Black Mass. I'm telling you this: out of all the Black Masses that Alpha Black has hit in the past on each and every one of his opponents, I gotta think this is probably the most hard hitting Black Mass ever delivered. In which John Gargano did deserve that. For costing Alpha Black the championship back in the summer 2018. Alpha Black got the 1, 2, 3, winning this match in 18 minutes and 10 seconds. So it wasn't really too bad of a match. I wish I could do a lot more though. I felt it lacked us a little bit too. Maybe 3 out of 5 stars. I'll give this match. So it wasn't too bad, but it could have been better, a little bit better. But next up, we'll move on to the NXT Championship with Velveteen Dream the challenger and Tommaso Ciampa the champion. It was pretty cool. I liked how this match told a good story here. Tommaso Ciampa coming out with one of the most healed champions in history. I think, as far as Tommaso Ciampa being the heel NXT, the Black Heart NXT, they did a good job with Tommaso Ciampa's character in NXT. They made him right as a heel. Start with the story of him turning on Gargano, breaking up the DUI, coming back. You having that unsanctioned match with John Gargano take over New Orleans, having that was the last man standing match at take over Brooklyn 4, get him in Gargano for good, and now has Velveteen Dream coming here. I like how Velveteen Dream was portrayed as this character. I love it. I love it. Like Velveteen Dream, I had to praise him a lot, especially nowadays in NXT. He's still doing a good job in my mind, and having him get that shot at the World Championship in the main event was pretty cool. Because if you see his entrance alone, see what he came out wearing was almost the exact replica that Hulk Hogan came out when he battled The Rock at WrestleMania 18 in front of the Toronto Sky Dome in front of 69,000 fans. That was pretty cool. I felt like that atmosphere when the Velveteen Dream came out there. Even the old classic NWO White Hulkamania Hollywood Hulk Hogan belt. That was pretty cool. I love that outfit. So Velveteen Dream did not disappoint here. We saw Tommaso Ciampa coming out next, holding on tightly to his belt, which he called Goldie. I don't think he called it Goldie at the time until maybe early 2019, but still, you know, that's his Goldie. So yeah, this match saw a lot. We even saw like I even heard if you guys listen very clearly, like when Velveteen Dreams, whereas Tommaso Ciampa opened the announce table right into the announcing position, and you hear Marmanella in the background saying that 600 SOB. I won't say a B word here, but that sick SOB, and Ciampa just throwing papers at him. I thought that was kind of like an unscripted kind of thing that wasn't supposed to happen, but I was like, oh wow, okay, this is interesting. Marmanella and Tommaso Ciampa, like, holy shit, this is some real life levity right here, longevity right here. So that was, pretty surreal. I thought it was gonna beat him up or something. So then you see Velveteen Dream hit the DVD, throwing back to inside the ring, hit the Purple Rainmaker. I thought for a second we was gonna have a new champion in Velveteen Dream. I would have been so happy because I want Velveteen Dream to become champion. Like he was really at the height of his career in the year 2018, Velveteen Dream. I really felt like it. When he didn't kicks out, you know, Toss Chamber rolls to the outside on the ring apron. Velveteen Dream jumps at the elbow, but misses and crashes and burns to the outside of the ring. Toss Chamber throws him back in and hits the draping DDT in the middle of the ring with that hard metal part in the middle that sets up the War Games match later on in the evening and gets the 1-2-3 on Velveteen Dream. Tommaso Ciampa is still your NXT champion. And dominant. It was a dominant match. I actually enjoyed it. Velveteen Dream came so many close on so many occasions to getting the champion. So it didn't really set his career back as much. But just have that one shot and just lose it. So well, it was pretty good to say the least. I enjoyed the match. The match will last 22 minutes and 25 seconds. It was probably it's probably the best match Velveteen Dream's ever had. One of the best matches, and also one of the best matches Tommaso Ciampa has had. I rated this match 4 out of 5 stars because it was a hard, brutal NXT World Championship match. I even say it's better than the year previous match between McIntyre and Cien Almas. Like it was better than that match. I would say the least. So kudos to both these men for putting on a really hard hitting physical matchup here. Next up, we enter War Games. First time we have two teams of four contestant of the undisputed era of Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle Riley, and Roderick Strong. Mind you, Roderick Strong was last year on Team AOP battling against the Undisputed Era. Now this year he's teaming up with the Undisputed Era from what happened at Takeover New Orleans, where we found out he turned on Pete Dunne just to align himself as a new member of the Undisputed Era, which I call one of the most shocking moments in NXT history when that happened. And they're going up against the War Raiders of Hanson and Rowe, Ricochet, the NXT North American champion, and Pete Dunne, the WWE United Kingdom champion. So this match actually potentially has to be a really good show-stealing matchup here, and did not say the least. Both these teams entered here. We saw Adam Cole and Ricochet start off as the first two competitors in this matchup. Then, every 3 minutes, another superstar comes out from each team. Of course, Undisputed Era had that advantage in that matchup, so they were able to, lay out, the War Raiders and Ricochet at first, until Bobby Fish comes out and accidentally beats up Ricochet. I mean, not Ricochet, but Pete Dunne while he's still trapped in that cage, that shark cage, and manages to tie the other chain and yet a lock on that same cage that Pete Dunne won't get out. And by tossing the key into the live crowd, that was pretty smart on Bobby Fish's part. Goes to the ring, helps out his members on this era, beat down the War Raiders and Ricochet. So, but of course, Pete Dunne ends up getting thanks to the ball cutters by some officials and referees. Going out to the ring, we saw like tables and trash cans and steel chairs again, as we saw the previous year. But if you go to the one moment's matchup here, this was probably the one of the best moves Ricochet has ever performed. Ricochet is one of the most athletic high-flying superstars ever in WWE's history. But if you go back and watch a moment from this matchup, you see Ricochet getting off that top, while the other seven superstars are on the bottom in the ring and hitting a backwards. I call it a 720 somersault from the top of that cage into the crashing to all seven competitors inside the ring, and that was so death defying. That's probably the best spot ever in that matchup. That was crazy. Oh man! And then you see, Pete Dunne hit the bitter end on Adam Cole, and then Ricochet with the frog splash on top rope. Both men covering Adam Cole with the 1, 2, 3, and getting the win for their team, stopping the Undisputed Era's dominance when it comes to War Games. This match lasted 47 minutes and 10 seconds. It was a long match, but I enjoyed it from start to finish. It's like, you watch a long match and you watch it like that, and normally you would see maybe one or two competitors one on one in a long match like this with specialty. It's cool, but could be better. But you see like eight guys just beating the hell out of each other for damn near 50 minutes, damn near an hour, in a double ring, it's double cage match. No championships, nothing on the line, and it's just like, holy shit, this is way better, than what's meant to be. Even better than your typical battle royal. So this match was probably one of the best War Games matches. Compared to last year's, I would say it's about the same. Because last year's, the 2017, is pretty brutal. I did a bonus episode earlier today about it. You guys hear on my Anchor podcast or Spotify, Apple, and Google Playlist and Breaker and Pocket Cast. Like this match itself was pretty damn cool. I enjoyed this War Games match. Sitting on 50 minutes watching this, all these guys beating the hell out of each other. And then at the end of the show, you see Pete Dunne and Ricochet posting on top of the cage with their respective championship belts. So I enjoyed it. It's pretty good kickoff to the 2018 Survivor Series weekend. And much less, it just left with the bigger things to come for the NXT roster itself. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening to this podcast. And like I said, tune into NXT Takeover War Games 2020 tonight. It's going to be really cool. Not only one, but two War Games matches for the men's and the women's. It's going to be brutal. Have a good night, everybody, and stay safe, and God bless. Thank you very much.